Welcome into episode 7, week 6 of the Sports Divided College Pick'em podcast presented by Mamas on the Hill. Tyler, Adam, we'll get into it in a little bit.
What's up, boys?
Rough week 5 for us all.
If you notice, I did get allowed back in my house, but it's because I told Lauren, I'm done with the sticks. I'm sticking with the picks. Time to win some bets, boys.
Well, I'm back in the office, here for the picks. In the office, getting back to the books, getting the grinding, trying to win some money. Tough sledding out there.
We'll talk our records in a little bit. But he's got a segment he wants to talk about that are called the Nolls. What are they?
Noll's Numb Nuts.
There we go. Explain it.
So last week we had talked about my hot seats. So I want to transition from hot seats because you can't have coaches, go on and off the hot seat. I guess you could, but it'd be the same people every single week, right? Going on and off. So I decided to come up with Noll's Numb Nuts. So I'm going to have 3 numb nuts of the week that I found during the college football weekend. It could be college football. It could be anything, any topic that we want. MLB playoffs right now. NHL season's coming up. So, but you guys have to have a numb nuts as well on top of mine. So I'm going to have 3 numb nuts first. Do you guys want me to go first, or do you each want to go first, and then I'll finish with my numb nuts?
Go ahead,
There's a lot of numb nuts out there. A lot of numb nuts out there.
Yeah, including the 3 of us. So, actually, I'm going to have 4 this week. Our first numb nuts are the 3 of us for not being able to pick winners.
Hey, we did go. Us 3 went perfect on the Mamas combo. Listener of the week, Kyle, did not.
Lost. Yes.
Cost us.
Thank you. He cost us, but we'll get to that later in the show. Not to foreshadow anything. So yeah, my number 1 numb nuts to start this week. And it's, it could be because I hate this team. But we're going to start. Top numb nut is Lane Kiffin. Some say, why might you, he lost a hard-fought battle against Kentucky. Why would he be a top numb nut? Easy. He makes dumb TikTok videos, numb nuts. He bitches. It's been a huge bitching fest of people faking injuries. And you had, at one point in time, 3 plays in a row against that game against Kentucky, and three separate instances, 3 plays in a row, Lane Kiffin's players fake injuries and stop the game. One of the play, outside of those 3, another one was whenever it was caught on camera of Jackson Dart, who's grade A DB, wearing a quilt off the bus, slapping his running back on the thigh saying, "Go down," before the play, while they have the ball, getting ready to hike it. Ridiculous. So Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, you deserve to lose that game. There were some, we might get into this, but there were some glaring instances. I was very shocked how much they got bullied on the line of scrimmage against Kentucky. Kentucky's front 7 on defense looked good. So he's number 1 numb nuts and Ole Miss. Number 2 numb nuts, he returns to the list from last week, Hugh Freeze. This team finds a new way to lose every single week. Just absolutely dominating Oklahoma. The game is over. They have it. And all of a sudden, for some reason, they let the quarterback, Peyton Thorne, throw the ball. They've got the ball. There's like 2 minutes left in the game. All they do is run it out. Throws a pick 6. Game over. Hugh Freeze, numb nut number 2. And number 3, maybe my favorite numb nut of them all, Sluka, the quarterback for UNLV. I told you guys last week, this idiot comes in demanding money, no matter if he's demanding money or not, if they didn't get paid or not. He's got a 48% completion percentage. And now the backup comes in from Adam's favorite school, the Campbell Camels, comes in, racks up over 50 points of offense, absolutely obliterates Fresno State. And this team, that UNLV team looks a lot different now moving forward into the season. They got a big game on Friday night against Syracuse that I'm looking forward to down in Las Vegas. So So to recap, my 3 Numb Nuts: number 1, Lane Kiffin; number 2, Hugh Freeze. Welcome back to the list, Hugh. Hopefully you can get off this week. And number 3, Sluka the Sucka is what we're gonna call him.
Adam.
A lot of numb nuts out there.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We're probably the top of that, but man, there's some real jokesters out there. I'm gonna take things because I couldn't come up with the numb nuts off the top of my head once we figured out this segment. So I'm gonna go to the NHL since we're all excited about the start of hockey. And my numb nuts is gonna be the Boston Bruins, specifically Cam Neely and the Boston Bruins front office. Just the way that they're handling this Jeremy Swayman situation. Rumors of 64 and $8x8 million deal. Swayman says that was never announced to him. Cam Neely said he has 64 reasons for him to sign. So everybody's throwing each other under the bus. It's just a complete shit show. Obviously, it's still preseason, so some time to figure things out. And I imagine we will come to a solution. But holy fuck, what distractions going into a season. Just a complete shit show. Never the way you want to handle things and getting out in the public. So my numb nuts is definitely the Boston Bruins. Damn.
64 Numb Nuts. They get 64 Numb Nuts.
Well,
64 fucking numb nuts. What a
and
dump.
not to mention, they also 8 hours ago claimed Yuri Patera, a goaltender from the Vegas Golden Knights system. Who,
Any relation to Yori Laterra?
no, Patera.
Not left.
I will say, though, if Swayman's not going to take an 8x8, he's kind of an idiot. But I don't know if that's true. What's true? Who knows? But
Well, I mean, I don't think a front office says 8x8 if they haven't offered that or hinted at it, because then they're putting themselves in a weird predicament to be like, hey, we said this in public, but no, we're actually going to only offer 8x7 or whatever.
there's just no reason to lie. I don't know. It's a very weird situation, but yeah.
You don't back
who doesn't
yourself
love
into that corner. You don't back yourself into that corner. If you're a front office person, there's literally zero advantage to say that if you haven't offered that deal.
Yeah. Well, we love the drama. So excited for hockey season, but this is a college football podcast. So let's get back to it.
Well, no, it can be your numb nuts can be anything. So Trout, you're up now.
All right, so mine, we're going on a Saturday night in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We're going to offensive coordinator Mike Bobo and Mike Bobo, whatever. When you have the Georgia accent, it sounds like Boba. And Carson Beck. I mean, Carson Beck just literally threw 2 interceptions right to Alabama defensive backs. And then good old Mike, maybe just run the ball some more. When your quarterback's only 50% on the game, just run the ball more. Maybe suck some of the air out, especially maybe when you have the lead. But
Sorry, guys, you see me keep turning around my head like I've got whiplash. I got a big bet on this Braves game right now, and they just made it 5-4. So,
well, Adam keeps disappearing, so
I'm back. I know I
he
had
forgets
some
that this
issues
whole
last
thing goes.
time.
He forgets this whole thing goes on YouTube. So now we're gonna have a black screen for a little bit on YouTube.
Hey, I'm back. I do apologize to the listeners. I'm trying hard to keep my head focused between the lines. So feedback, we're listening to your feedback out there.
keeping it
Mainly
between
mainly
the
Kyle and
navigational
Mikey.
buoys.
Mainly
Keeping it
Kyle and
between the
Mikey.
navigational buoys.
All right, let's get into last week. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get into last week's games and records that were the high water mark was 43%?
No, I'm good.
Well, the
I'm not
high
here to
water
talk-
mark was Adam at 43%. Going
Well,
10
I
and
grew up in a
13.
middle class family, so
Tyler, 8 and 14, 36.4%. And then I myself, 14 and 22, 38.9%. On the season, Adam 44.9%, total of 14.6 units down. He is leading in the unit category. Tyler 40.21% on the season. 24.6 units down. And then I myself, 36.49% and 23.75 units down. So guys, we need some of these mama parlays to hit big time so Tyler can stop eating some nuggets.
Yeah, I try to bring something new to this show every single week. So, what was the first week? The Big Mac bite?
That
Big
was
Mac
like
bite?
week 3
Week 3. We had the
when you were
biscuit.
slumming.
You had the biscuit.
yeah, we had the gooey butter cookie last week. So this week for the listeners, I am doing let me see. 25 chicken nuggets for every single one nugget for every unit that I'm down. So we got the sauces here. So throughout the show, you'll see me getting my soppins, dipping my nuggets into my soppins. Trout, he might be able to work in a nugget counter throughout this. So for all our loyal listeners and watchers to track along, I'll be snacking on some nuggets here before the end of the show. And the podcast can't end until all the nuggets are gone.
I can't wait to hear you smacking your gums and you're showing your food to the camera.
I think what this was Tyler got busy tonight, needed an excuse to eat during the podcast, and he came up with this.
No, I was actually in a golf tournament today, and
So a little boozed up.
yeah, I was on the way home, and I did have a big fat before the show. So I am a little full, man. I was so hungry.
Your
so
intestines are gonna hate you tomorrow.
Yeah, I am pretty full. So I'm not looking forward to this at all. But I gotta do it. I gotta get.
So how old are these nuggets? When'd you get dinner?
That's why I thought we were gonna record this sooner. I got home at like 7:30.
My bad. Work comes first, you know? We don't make enough money in our picks. All right. So let's talk let's just talk a little about last week's games. Mainly one thing, we were all on the under of the Alabama-Georgia game. Not even close. All big on UCF. Yeah, that was ugly.
That app. I need to add Numb Nuts to my list.
One thing that everybody was a winner on in some portion of a game was Washington Rutgers on Friday night. Tyler had the money line. Adam had -2.5, and I had the under.
Didn't deserve to win that.
Other than that, minus, like we already said, that we all went 3-0 on our locks, and if we didn't add in a listener because he begged to be in the parlay, we would have hit.
Can't blame him on the pick, though.
I can't. I only didn't take them +9 for you, Yuri. That's why I just took the over. Doesn't matter if they backdoored their way in.
They should
have embarrassing.
And then, Tyler had this one. He had Notre Dame -6.5. Yuri had a money line, or Louisville money line. I had Louisville +6.5. And we all had the under of 45, and that wasn't too close either. Not much of a sweat for the over bettors last week in that game.
Well, when you're snapping the ball over people's heads and throwing interceptions and fumbling kickoffs, yeah, I mean that's gonna the score's gonna get out of hand real quick. So.
I mean, we can get into it.
Let's start with I do want to start with the Georgia game because this might be the only one that we need to talk about. But how do you guys feel the Alabama fan base feels about their head coach if they didn't have Ryan Williams playing for them and made that spectacular play? Because I think things are looking a little bit different down Tuscaloosa. They're feeling a little bit different about Kalen DeBoer. I can tell you that because that guy was shitting himself on the sidelines there every time they showed his face. They were blowing that game. They had the game in hand. You want to talk about teams that just needed to run the ball in the second half? I mean, what are they doing? I mean, Milrow made some good plays, but they had him locked down pretty much that whole second half until the last couple of minutes there. So, but that was a spectacular game. That was a phenomenal football game. I really did enjoy that.
I turned it off for a while in the third quarter when it was 33-15 or whatever after Alabama kicked that field goal. And I was like, oh, this one's pretty much pretty much a wrap. And I think I put on one TV had the start of the Boise game, I believe I put on because I had Boise, and then the other one I had on I forget something else. Something else was on.
Arizona and
I don't think they were on at that point. Well, maybe that was the game. Oregon was the game that I was thinking that started at 10. I had Penn State, Illinois on the other TV the whole. Yeah, that was on the other TV the whole time. And then all of a sudden they broke in and said, Georgia scored.
Georgia's coming back.
Or it was Georgia scored back-to-back touchdowns, 33-28. Alabama just punted. I'm like, maybe we're gonna get off of Boise State here and go back to that game, and then watched. I guess you could say a miracle happened with 2:18 left with the play to Williams. That I don't know.
I'm looking at the box score right now.
Around.
Georgia 7 points in the first quarter or the first half. Bama 11 in the second half. Had the tail of two sides. I remember. That's kind of crazy.
Really,
after the
first 10 minutes of the game, Georgia pretty much took it to them. To be honest with you, I mean that's what it was. They had the turnovers that kept them in. That really gave them all their opportunities to score. I mean, it was like Carson Beck just made some really poor decisions, and it was odd because he didn't play his best against Kentucky, but I mean before that he's never been the guy that just turns the ball over. I don't know if he just wasn't seeing the field, but some of the decisions he was making, I mean, just he almost threw like two more picks that got lucky that Bama just didn't catch the ball. I think Georgia's gonna be fine. Look at the way they fought back. I mean, any team could have just rolled down and just died in the second half, but they fought back. I mean, they had a chance to win the game. 2 minutes left. Ryan Williams makes a spectacular play. The guy's 17 years old. That's unbelievable. Probably a top 3 receiver in the game already.
I thought that was technically illegal.
Nugget
down.
And then did everybody see the thing that blew up yesterday with is he related to Serena Williams because she said something or referring to him as like her little cousin because of the last name, and then like stupid. People were running with it like they're actually related, and
177 yards receiving. That's
enough of this Bama talk. Fuck them.
All right, we're gonna move on to another SEC team though. You already brought it up one time, but probably the game of the week for a negative reason was the 20-17 game that happened in Oxford, Mississippi. I'm thinking Miami, Ohio on my brain because Adam had that game, and that game was Adam, you want to talk about that game? Miami, Ohio -17, and UMass 20 more points.
I know.
Maybe let's talk about the more important thing.
How you missed Southern Alabama at LSU? Because you had Southern Alabama plus 22.5 or whatever it was.
Let's talk about the most important thing in that Miami, Ohio UMass game. I had like 3 or 4 bets that just like, I mean, you want to talk about just getting your dick kicked in right through your fucking stomach. So I had the over that game, over 45.5. It goes into overtime, 20-20. I'm thinking, let's go, baby. 2020?
No.
I mean, even if both of them kick a field goal, right? Even if both of them kick a field goal, that's over. UMass gets the ball first. I think they ended up losing 4 yards and were kicking like a 48-yard field goal. Fucking missed the field goal. And of course, Miami, Ohio makes like their 37-yard chip shot.
It was 43 yards.
Either way.
They literally had 4 plays and did not move the ball either.
I know.
And why were they're wearing blue jerseys? I didn't know.
That used to be their colors.
Oh, stop. That's stupid. All right.
Way back when.
To that, I'm going to have another nugget.
Bad pick.
Another game, I think, mainly because it played out the way I thought it did. Minus, the interception by Luke Altmaier that led to the 3rd touchdown for Penn State, but low scoring, slugged it out football game in Happy Valley. I don't know. I don't know if that game says more about Illinois being for real or if that says more about Penn State being the normal Penn State, a nice 10-2 team, a 18 through 10 every year ranking, and stay right on that curve.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they played pretty well. I mean, I thought that was a really good game. It was fun and exciting to watch. They just, turnovers. Altmaier threw his first interception of the year.
Yep, right to the guy too.
So, yeah, I just don't think he saw him, but I mean, it was a good game. It's a great atmosphere. I was just really shocked with Ole Miss. I'm telling you. I mean, that was one disappointing. You go out in the off season, get all these transfer portal guys, basically just talk shit all off season long.
Like
right?
always.
Come out your first 4 games of the year. I mean, they didn't play anyway, but I mean, they're putting up points. Your first time that you play a real team, you're at home, 15-point favorites. I liked Ole Miss last week when I was surprised the line was that low, but maybe I'm just a big idiot. So
no, I had a minus 16 also. Yeah.
And just to fucking lay an egg, and it wasn't like they just lost, like the way they lost, like just bullied the front. Their offensive line they just lost the point of attack every single play. They were, I think, and maybe it's something, they were one of the highest, one of the best third down teams in the country going into the game. And I think they were 1 for 11 or 1 for 10. So, I mean, maybe as an outlier, but I mean, your offensive line doesn't get beat like that. That ain't going away, So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
We'll talk a little bit more about them here in a little bit. That's one of the games. But another, it was a week of scares for teams inside the top 10. Well, and not only just scares. Ole Miss obviously losing. San Diego just hit a home run.
Soler just hit one right to the wall and caught.
Oh. So, I didn't put this in the Numb Nuts of the week or whatever they're called. But sometimes I just wonder what these AP, not like it fully matters, but these AP voters think.
Think or stink?
They
think. Like
it's almost like they don't watch. They don't watch games enough.
They don't. It's all about. It's all about. Not even just that. It's all about your blue blood name to an extent too.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you cannot tell me the University of Miami was ranked 7, where Mizzou was a week ago. Won 38-34 against Virginia Tech. Oh, Virginia Tech lost to Vandy. They dropped 1 spot, but Mizzou dropped 4.
I can tell you that Michigan's not a top 10 team, and they are in the top 10.
No, they're 12 right now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They ain't a top 10 team. They're not even a top 15 team.
They were a top 10 before last.
They ain't even a top 20 team.
I know. But that's my point.
They ain't even a top 25 team.
They're better than LSU. They are better than LSU.
No, they're not.
Take that shirt off. Yes, they are.
No way.
Yes,
are you kidding me? They can't even throw the.
You not remember Vegas? Oh, you don't. We sat there and watched the game.
If they played tomorrow, LSU would be favored.
You got beat by a team we beat. Next question.
Home field, neutral site.
LSU's favorite.
Yeah, LSU favorite. They will lose.
No, they won't.
No, I'm saying you beat them on your home field and they lost at a neutral site. It's not
they
the
would
same.
Lose. LSU would lose.
But no, like it just, make it make sense sometimes. Make it make sense sometimes, and it doesn't. Because I mean, sometimes you just got voters that vote on vendettas. Like the Action News guy, Brett McMurphy. He hasn't had Mizzou in the top 15 all year in his AP vote.
Personal.
That's just stupid. Like I don't.
Because he's a Kansas guy. He's Kansas. He's a Big 12 Kansas guy. He's the one that started the fake rumor about Mizzou won't play Kansas in the Liberty Bowl.
Let's just
it's all dumb.
It's really not that hard. Like, there's no reason to have an AP poll or a fucking coach. I mean, fine, coaches poll, whatever. But
they have to have something because
like, just wait till the rankings come out. Like, college, like, those rankings are meaningless anyway. Just wait till the college football rankings come out. Like,
Yeah. Or
there's
what they
no-
should just do is just have the college football rankings come out earlier then.
Yeah.
Because the
No,
reason they do it,
I don't think they need to though. Like, why?
But
A
the
week
reason they're-
earlier,
Don't know
2
anything
weeks
about it.
earlier.
the reason they're doing it is so they can say how many, like, so they can advertise how many teams have, or how many, top 25 matchups they have. That's what it's all about. It's so game day has a place to go. Like, they can't just be like, oh, you only picked that place because it's good. Like, like that's
Well, it
that's
all
why.
starts in the
and,
offseason.
we didn't even. Yeah, exactly. And we didn't even talk about how Miami should not be the 8th ranked team in the nation. Miami should not be 5-0.
No, but they got the second best player in the country.
They have the Heisman Trophy winner right now. If the
No.
season ended today.
No,
Yes.
if the season ended today, this Nugget would vote for Travis Hunter.
That might, but the voters aren't going to vote for him. He's not a quarterback.
Doesn't matter.
And his
Yes,
team
he
He's the
sucks.
best.
Yes,
No.
it does.
No.
Watch.
They need to make
Watch.
they need to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, he's not getting it.
I guarantee if the voting came out today, the 3 finalists, he would not be in it.
Yeah,
Even
right
though
or
he's
wrong.
the odds-on favorite.
Right or wrong.
Yeah,
he's
even
not
though
in.
he's the odds-on favorite, he would not be in that based on the way the voters vote the past 20 years.
Yeah, he'd be in it. I guarantee.
No, he wouldn't.
Can we
No,
make a bet? Can we make a bet on this?
I'm saying as of right now, like, he
I
can
know-
obviously change, but I don't think, unless he has a Manti Te'o style defensive year, along with like
He
how
has.
he was. No, I'm saying full year of it, where he's hands down dominating every aspect on the defensive side of the ball
He is.
and doing offense. No, not quite yet.
He plays every
I
single
understand that,
snap
but
on
I'm
both
saying, but
sides.
he's not going to win it because Manti Te'o finished 4th, and they only invited him because he was at Notre Dame.
He will
If he's
get
anywhere else,
invited.
he probably doesn't get.
He's gonna
Probably
be
doesn't get
invited.
invited.
He'll get invited. He'll show up. They'll make sure
Mm,
that
I don't think so.
Dion make sure he gets there. He'll be
No,
all
they're
dressed
only
up,
going to.
and he'll
They're only
get
going to invite
third.
one Colorado guy. And right now it's still going to be Shedeur Sanders because he's the quarterback. As much as it's stupid to say that, that's who it is.
No, you're wrong.
I'm telling you, if they go 10-2, who's going to have the numbers? Shedeur Sanders, and he's going to get the invite. It's going to be stupid because they always go quarterback, unless it's a running back. That's the only other way they go. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm not saying it should be. It's just the way they vote. But yeah. I mean, ACC don't do anything to feed the speculation that you try to make sure the teams that are in the playoff hunt win games with the whole the Miami guy stepped out of bounds and then touched the ball, so the ball was instantly dead, even though it looked like Virginia Tech caught the ball for a game-winning touchdown. All right, we're going to move on to this week's picks. We're going to start it off at SEC Nation spot, 11 o'clock kickoff on ABC, Heil Field, as the 25th ranked Aggies of Texas A&M host the 9th ranked Missouri Tigers. Aggies minus 2.5, over under 48.5. All right, Tyler, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I think this is a tough game to look at because I don't know who's starting. They're still going back and forth between Wegman and Marcel Reed. Elko said today on the SEC teleconference that Wegman's been is back to throwing, and he's going to be a game time decision. He's functioning a little bit more at practice. One other little nugget to note is the assistant director of on-campus recruiting at Mizzou is the sister of A&M's other quarterback, Marcel Reed, and Eli Drinkwitz banned her from all practice related things for Mizzou in preparation for this game. He doesn't want any of these notes getting out to A&M. He thinks she might be a mole for the program. So with that being said, I'm taking A&M minus 2.5. I don't know. It's just a weird spot for Mizzou. They're one of like 4 or 5 teams that haven't played a road game yet. And this isn't an ideal place to make your first road game. They are getting a little bit lucky that it is 11 a.m. game, not a night game or a 2:30 game. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a hostile environment still. We'll see if the Tigers are ready. I haven't seen enough discipline out of this team to be able to go on the road and win a football game like this. I was really disappointed in how Luther was against Boston College, and shit like that on the road costs you games. So they're lucky they didn't cost them against BC. So give me A&M minus 2.5.
Yeah, great points. I like when you said nuggets because I got a few nuggets for you as well. This comes from Gabe Yarman of the wherever he's at, but Tigers Insider.
PowerMizzou.com.
247
Tyler,
Sports now.
That's what I said. Yeah, they
Tyler
just
brought
signed.
this up. I am worried about the Tigers because they don't have big plays. Gabe Yarman quotes 45 drives, 36 across midfield, but only averaging 4.3 points per drive. Texas A&M is a bend don't break defense. They will risk getting you into the red zone and try to kick field goals. With that said, I believe Mizzou has the most field goal attempts, maybe most field goal makes in college football. Maybe somebody fact check me, but I thought I heard that somewhere. Tyler, you mentioned it. Burden needs to have a breakout game. He needs to be a guy that makes a big play, maybe catches a slant, goes deep, yards after catch kind of thing. With that in mind, from my Mizzou listeners out there, wide receiver Johnson not playing, I've heard. He's kind of the other go-to.
Marquise Johnson.
He's the other go-to
Speedy
wide receiver.
Johnson.
I've heard
Yeah,
he's not.
No, he's just the other deep threat.
I heard he's not playing.
I'm not saying, but he's not the other go-to is
Theo
a
Lee?
guy named Theo Weiss, or even Mookie Cooper before that.
Johnson not playing.
Speedy Johnson's just the guy that usually burns the top off the defense and
No big
gets
plays.
hit.
No big plays. With that in mind, I'm taking the under.
All right, under 48.5 for Adam.
Nice nuggets. Nice nuggets.
Nice nuggets.
I'll have one.
You
8
like
left.
the nuggets?
Adam, you are right. Blake Craig has the most field goals attempted and the
is it
most
Craig
field
or
goals.
Greg or
Greg or
Greg?
Greg?
Craig. Craig. Yes, I heard about you. Told me about the text message.
If you know,
Craig,
you know.
Craig.
If you know, you know.
But
Greg.
freshman has 11 field goals made, which is second most in college football behind Eastern Michigan. So it's number one in the Power Fours.
Yep.
And then
Good for Greg.
he's got 16 field goal attempts, which is the most.
Good for unders.
The Tigers off of a bye. You can only see the GR.
Keep it between the lines, buddy. Keep it between the lines.
There you go. The Tigers off a bye. Unlike Tyler, I actually love this spot for a first road game. Love it because they're getting points. They're not favored on the road as the number 9 team in the nation. If they're favored, I'd be a little bit more worrisome. I think they're not favored because it's an overreaction to the Vandy game. Now, granted, I don't think they played great against Vandy. I think when you actually watch the game, they just couldn't score. They couldn't punch it in, but they absolutely dominated the trenches against Vandy. So I think they actually controlled that game a lot more. Because if you think about it, if Craig hits 3, which I still to this day, we talked about it last week, talk about it again this week, still think the second one he quote unquote missed went through. But that's 9 more points right there. And plus, you don't need a guy to blow off the top of the defense when you can just throw a screen to Luther Burden and let him go 67 yards for a touchdown.
He hasn't done it yet.
Yeah,
see it. Wait to see it.
Not enough. Not enough.
No, I didn't say enough, but he has done it.
Not
Boston
a lot
College,
of explosive penalties.
Don't worry. They'll be there. So, Tigers plus 2.5. Tigers
on the
money
money line.
line. Over 48.5. Over Tigers team total 23.5.
Jesus, get out the Mizzou boner.
Coming off a bye. Brady Cook made the comments in the media this week. All we did all last week going into the bye was work on our red zone offense. They're going to come out and there's not going to be next week against Auburn. It might not be great. They might it might be everything's in this one, but they are going to come out, I think, and lay the hammer this week, and then we'll see again what it's like next week at home against Auburn.
Yeah, I mean,
Again-
let's talk about something else that not many people are talking about. Is Brady Cook healthy?
Yes.
He is healthy.
I think that just is what he is.
How did you see what Brady Cook said?
Well, I just gave one quote about him talking about the red zone and
Did
how
you
they're
see what he
excited to.
Did he see he was calling out Kyle Field? He said our practice is louder than it is at Kyle Field. And apparently Mike Elko took exception to that on his radio show. He says, it's been interesting that we've had people call out Kyle Field a little bit. I heard their quarterback say today that it's louder in practice than it is at Kyle Field. To me, that's a challenge to the 12th man.
Well, have you seen the reports that they are struggling to sell tickets to the students right now? They've only sold about 30% for that game. But what he's saying is, as Drinkwitz has talked about it too, they are putting inside those helmet pad things that they put on their helmets, they're putting headphones that are just playing music the whole time. Like loud, like yelling style music.
Mental toughness.
I'm just saying, I hate when people do this, though. I hate when players go out and, like, say shit like that because it's all
also how a reporter
it's
reports what a question was.
Yeah, true. It's bulletin board material, right? Like, yeah, but there's literally zero upside to even quoting or anything.
But the question could have been something that was like, hey, Kyle Field's pretty loud. How are you guys preparing for that? And it's like, oh, at practice, it's pretty loud at practice with what, and
Create your own.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
He said,
Create your own.
He said Kyle Field isn't louder than these nuts.
Create your own motivation, boys.
All right, next game.
All
Let's
right.
go.
We're moving on to 2:30 kick in Columbus, Ohio, as
I'm going to do my Kyle Field, my dance.
Adam's favorite team, the Buckeyes, number 3 in the country, take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Over under 44.5. Ohio State minus 20.5 at home. Tyler,
What was that line again?
20.5.
20.5.
Damn, this seems like a lot. Like, I don't. Every time, Ohio State is way better than them. Like, it's like. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this dumb. What's the total again?
44.5.
Give me the under. I want the under 44.5. And I also want Iowa team total under, too.
Adam?
Yeah. Not my favorite team, the Buckeyes, but I am big on the Buckeyes this week. First true test for the Buckeyes, which the Buckeye fans are always ripping on Michigan last year. Weak schedule. Buckeyes, you haven't done shit this year. You've been able to hide your playbook up to now, so we get to really see the Buckeyes offense. But for
I
me,
wouldn't be talking about hiding stuff.
shut up. You ain't doing
all I'm
that
saying.
again.
That's
Wait
all I'm
for
saying.
that game. You can bring it up in a few segments later, all right? But for me, I really think that we haven't seen the same Iowa defense that we're accustomed to seeing. Ohio is obviously really good. If Iowa has a chance, they're going to have to blitz a lot, which means man coverage, which means Ohio is going to pick them apart.
Jeremiah Smith.
I don't know. I mean, Iowa's offense has improved. We got to give them some credit there. But I just can't imagine that Iowa brings too much to the table to keep it close. So I'm going Ohio 20.5, and I'm going under Iowa team total.
Are the two best wide receivers in the country both freshmen this year?
No.
Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams?
No.
I don't know how I don't know how anyone's going to guard Jeremiah Smith. That guy is off a real.
And what are they going to do? They're going to sit back
Are you
and
talking
try
about
to
like what the numbers look like this year? Or are you talking about who the actual wide receivers are?
The actual wide receivers. I'm not talking about numbers.
No.
I think they are.
The best wide receiver in the country. You just talked about not having enough explosive plays from him.
No, he is not.
Luther Bird is the best skilled wide receiver in the country. Yes.
Boner alert.
No, he was better.
All
He was
right.
better than Marvin Harrison last year.
Keep the train on the tracks. Back
I'm
to
just
this
telling
game.
you. Asked the question. They're in the top 5, both of them, but I don't know if they wouldn't. Neither one of them, I don't think, is number 1.
Well, let me throw a nugget out there since we all like nuggets.
Here,
you
let me
get
take
one on
one.
here.
Let me take one.
Ohio State. If Tyler, what was your pick?
You took the under of the game
Under
and
and
Iowa
team.
team total under.
And the game's
Never
at
mind.
Iowa, right?
No, game's at Ohio State. That's why I
What,
said
my-
Columbus,
My
Ohio.
nugget doesn't help your cause, but I do think I have a good nugget. If Iowa wants to stay in this game, Ohio has 5 fumbles, but only 1 fumble loss. So maybe Iowa can force some turnovers. Maybe Ohio's got loose grips. But
Loose script, sink ship.
I don't see Ohio having trouble with the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes.
Hold on. I just had something come across. I've eaten 20 nugs so far.
And my stomach is full.
Give me Ohio
5
State
more.
minus 20. Give me Ohio State minus 20.
Good flip.
20 nugs.
Flip them.
All right, too late. He already put the bet in. All right. I don't think this is really much of a brainer here, or this is pretty much a no-brainer here. Ohio State's not that good. They're not. They're not.
You don't
They're
know.
not going to
We
cover.
don't know. We
They're
haven't seen
not
them.
going to. They're not going to cover 20.5. Iowa can actually move the ball this year. So give me Iowa plus 20.5. And I think Iowa scores like 17. So give me the over of 44.5. Now, I'm not saying it's close. I'm not saying it's close, but I'm saying, it's 30-17, I don't know, maybe more, 35-17 type of game.
You think Iowa's going to score 17 points on that team?
Yeah, watch.
Okay, hold on. Scratch this.
Watch.
Scratch my under pick. I don't want the under anymore, okay? I just want Ohio State, and I want the Iowa team total.
You're right.
I don't know what that is
It's
yet.
us 2 versus Trout. We have opposite bet.
Don't know what that is yet. It's not on
All right.
it's not on
We'll
ESPN
figure
bets
it
for
out.
some
We'll
reason
figure it out.
on
Yeah,
this
we'll
game.
figure it out. Hey, 2 versus 1.
It's on the air. It's on the line.
No, I know. I'm just saying we don't have a number for the people right now. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna head to Columbia, South Carolina, as the 12th ranked Rebels of Ole Miss take on the Gamecocks. Ole Miss coming off a loss at home, Kentucky, -9, over under 53.5. Tyler.
Come on, man. My fucking ears.
I'm gonna take the Gamecocks. Give me the Gamecocks and the points here. I was talking about earlier. South Carolina might have one of the best defensive front sevens in the country. And if you saw what that defensive front did to Kentucky's defensive front, offensive line, imagine what they're going to do to Ole Miss. They could not block anyone last year. I think they're in trouble. And if they can't run the ball with that offense, the only person that's making plays for them right now is Trey Harris. And if he doesn't have time to even get into a route, what are they going to do? So maybe it's a little bit of overreaction to me. Maybe Lane Kiffin has the boys ready, but Ole Miss is in a hell of a stretch right now. They're playing their 6th game, I believe, in 6 weeks. Not to mention, do we know where they go next week? You know where they go next week?
LSU, right?
Yep, Death Valley, Saturday night. So, whoo boy, that is.
And then
3
Oklahoma.
that is 3 tough games in a row. At home against Kentucky, where they got bullied. At South Carolina, we saw how difficult that was for LSU to go in there and play. That was a very hostile environment, and I expect it to be the exact same at a better time of day too at 2:30. So, I really like the defensive line. I think they're going to give Ole Miss front offensive line trouble. So, give me the Gamecocks. Sorry.
Tyler's speaking from experience because he's seen this happen to him right in his face. I think it's going to be a very similar game to the LSU game. South Carolina, like Tyler said, going to get a lot of pressure to him. My only worry about this game is South Carolina's offense. The quarterback's coming back, I heard.
Questionable.
Okay, well, I like questionable rather than out. But
is he wearing contacts or is he wearing his sports goggles? That's another question. Remember?
Fog
Remember he wore
City,
the
fog
contacts
up.
against. Remember he wore the contacts
Yeah.
against LSU because he didn't wear his glasses to fog up.
Fog up. Yeah.
Maybe that's
was
why he got
different.
hurt too.
Sure.
He
Contacts
was
changed.
a different player.
Dart is such a douche. I have heard from a reliable source over in Ole Miss Rebels camp from a guy named Brandon Lenz that Dart threw a players only meeting. So they're going to come fired up in the beginning of the game, and they're going to try doing this whole fucking shindig. I do think that they're going to score some points. I'm hoping South Carolina can score some points. Trout, remind me the over-under number.
53.5.
That's a lot of points, but I think we can get there. I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer on the over. Lane's going to come out firing, and we saw the LSU South Carolina game. They can score.
They can sometimes.
So I'll take the over 53.5 also.
Oh, let's go.
All right, we're going to move from South Carolina up to Evanston, Illinois. Didn't think we'd be talking about a game at the beginning of the year that happened in a soccer stadium on the lake at the University of Northwestern University, whatever you want to call it. But the reason we're talking about it is because the number 23 ranked Indiana Hoosiers come to town. 13-point favorites, over under 41.5. Tyler.
And this line scares me.
I know. Come on,
This line
do it.
scares me, but all this quarterback, all this coach has done, all he does is win. Google it.
All they do is score points.
You remember when Signe said, I win, Google me. In his press conference? Sig's inside, baby. Sig's inside. Give me Northwestern plus 13. It just seems too easy. You're going into the stadium. It's a lousy stadium, right? Like, it's a weird spot. I don't know. It just seems like it's too obvious to take Indiana here in the points. And so give me a Northwestern plus 13.
Sometimes when it's easy, it's because it's easy. The Cootie brothers wouldn't put us in a bad spot. You know, the reason why the line is because Northwestern doesn't have a quarterback. They changed their offense. Everything's switched up. They don't have a stadium. It's easy because it's easy. Indiana's got a balanced offense. If the weather's bad, they're going to be able to run the ball. You know, as long as they don't turn over the ball, they're going to handle business. I think that Indiana minus 13 is the play. It's the smart play. It's the easy pick, but it's the right pick. We all know that Northwestern can play spoiler and do all this upset bullshit, but not this week.
Not tonight.
Not on the Cooties.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's been betting against Indiana all year. And all they've done is hang, I don't know,
$1 million.
42 on Maryland, 52 on Charlotte, 42 on UCLA, 77 on Western Illinois, and 31 on Florida Inland International. So, it's a lot of points.
Basketball
points.
school, too. Well, I forgot about the basketball school.
What's Northwestern?
Not us.
Volleyball.
Volleyball, yeah. Volleyball.
Women's lacrosse.
Yeah, women's lacrosse. Nasty
They
women's.
won a lot there. Tony
Nasty.
Amade's sister's the head coach there. They
Yeah.
won quite a few national championships.
Yep, they're nasty.
That being said, I am so confident I even moved the line to get me plus 102. Indiana minus 13.5 at plus 102. Over 41.5. And over Indiana team total 27.5.
Give me that line boost. I didn't know we got a line boost. I need some
Figured
units
it might
back.
as well.
Give me that.
What's the point of taking 13 if you think they're going to win by 14? See if you
Yeah,
can move it up to half.
yeah, sure. Fuck it. Let's do it.
I think Indiana might clip that 41 by themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I might say? Clip these.
Nuggets.
Nugget.
All right, we're going to move from Evanston, Illinois, one Big Ten school to another, to Lincoln, Nebraska.
A lot of Big Ten.
3 o'clock, FS1, Rutgers Don't know how. They are unranked right now. Heads into
They should have
Nebraska.
lost last week.
It doesn't matter. This is my go back to what I said about the AP voters. If you got a blue blood name, doesn't matter if you almost lost. If you don't, then it's the end of the world. They're 4-0, 1-0 in conference, beat Washington, beat Virginia Tech, but whatever. Yeah. So Rutgers is getting 7 points on the road, over under 41.5. Tyler.
I think I'm gonna take the over here in this game, 41.5. I really like that Rutgers running back.
He's good.
That guy is a bruiser, man. He runs the ball.
My note says right here, Rutgers running back is good. So that means it's true. That's literally what my note says. It says Rutgers RB is good.
Give me the over. The one thing I'm concerned about is Nebraska's defensive line is pretty good. They got some big boys up there on the defensive line. So, but I think they'll be able to score. So, yeah, give me the over in this game. I mean, Washington wasn't that good offensively. They moved the ball on them. Turned the ball over. They couldn't stop turning the ball over. So, give me the over.
I think, initially looking at the line, I thought it seemed pretty high, but I'm guessing they're putting a lot of faith in Nebraska at home. I'm guessing that's why, for me, it seems like the line's juiced a little towards Nebraska. A nugget here, I'm going to read it just to make sure I get it right. Nebraska offense.
Last nugget, by the way.
Oh, shit. We still got a lot of pod left. Nebraska offense has seen a lot of man coverage. When Illinois went zone is sort of when Illinois started dominating playing defense. So I think if Rutgers can get into more zone, that could be a game changer. Nebraska sort of has this, we have something special this year, but I feel like if you lose to Rutgers, your special bullshit season is over. Will Compton's done if they lose this game. So it's kind of back to old Nebraska. I think the under is going to be the play. And we talked about moving the line, so I'm going to see what we got. But I had maybe get a hook on Rutgers plus 7, 7.5.
Plus 7.
What did we have it at? 6.5?
7.
Perfect. I think give me a hook the other way. Then I'll take 7.5 plus 7.5.
Go find it. Let's go find it.
The bet ESPN bets when we had it out said 6.5, so that's why I was asking for the 7. But
yeah,
even 7.5.
I read off 7 today.
That's great.
ESPN Mookie Bet.
So let's see. If we move this line, if ESPN Bets wants to work, if we move this line,
hey, nice breakdown of his own defense, Coach Rady.
Minus 130.
Yeah, I heard that. Good. What do we think? Did
you hear me? Minus 130. Do you want 7.5?
Yep, I'll take it. But yeah, I mean, if they have the chance, if they can get into some zone coverage, young quarterback over there, not used to it, could struggle. We'll see. Nice nugget.
All
right. So again, Rutgers plus 7.5 in the under.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think Nebraska is the same old Nebraska with Patrick Mahomes Jr.
Mini Mahomes.
Whatever you want to call him.
Wow.
I also just I like the vibe that Greg Schiano's got going on right now in Rutgers. Don't know if they win this one. I think they keep it close.
That's
Rutgers plus 7 and under 41.5.
Let's go.
Just because.
Good pick.
Well, here's kind of scares me that Adam's on it also because of it.
Uh-oh.
Just saying. But Nebraska is 1-4 towards the under this year in their 5 games, and Rutgers is 2-2 with the unders hitting in both their conference games. So
maybe we'll be on the right side of things. Let's be positive.
Maybe.
All right, last one before we get to our locks and our best bet. We got a rematch of the national championship game in Husky Stadium up in Seattle, Washington, on NBC, 6:30 p.m. as the unranked Huskies host the 10th ranked Michigan Wolverines. Washington -2 at home, over under 41.5. Tyler.
Michigan sucked. I'm sorry, but
So does Washington.
They both. Yeah, Will Johnson back?
Yes. He played last game.
He's back playing? He did play last game. He's healthy. He's doing fine.
I don't know if he's healthy, but he played. Tough to tell.
Yeah, I just
from
don't
row
know
50
is
in the big house.
if Alex Orji is able to go on the road and win a big game. I don't know if he's able. I don't know if he has it. I mean, they can't throw the ball. They could have easily lost. They had that game dominated one, and then all of a sudden they just let Minnesota crawl back in. So with that being said, I'm going to take Michigan. Michigan +2. Give me Michigan +2. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't like taking the quarterback on the road that can't throw the ball. But I think Michigan's going to be able to bully him up front. I think they're going to follow the exact same game plan that Rutgers did. They're going to muddy up the game, shorten the game with running the ball, play good defense. Maybe Will Johnson can get in a pick, turn the game around, and I think Michigan wins.
Adam,
The reason
besides Michigan money line, what else you taking?
The reason that I said Washington sucks is they haven't figured out Big Ten style yet. They have red zone issues.
Well, Oregon did. Did you see Oregon's tweet after they won their first Big Ten game?
I'm not talking to Oregon. I'm not talking to
No, did you see it, though?
No, I didn't.
Oh, they said Big Ten football was so different. They played UCLA in their first Big Ten game.
Yeah, fuck off, Oregon. That's funny. Anyway,
That's funny.
Washington, red zone issues, special team issues, punting issues, giving up great field position to their opposing team. So penalty issues. You can't have those things and be successful in Big Ten football. So with that said, I do think Seattle, Washington, underrated home field advantage. I do think that's probably why we see the line there. Michigan kind of counts on those big plays. They'll run the ball into the trenches 5 times and then somehow break one loose, and that's how they're going to end up winning the games. I probably see that. I'm guessing that Washington's going to stack the box, force Orji to try to make 10-yard throws. If he can do it, I think that they dominate. If they can't, I think it's going to be a close game. With that, the under is the easy play, so I'm going to stick with the easy plays. Take the under. I'm taking Michigan money line. Thanks for the tip, Trout.
Well, I just assumed that's what you're going to.
It's the smart play.
Sometimes the smart play is the one that's right in front of your face.
And it's right there.
Yeah. There's just a lot of revenge coming from the purple and gold. They want to revenge this national championship loss. They want to revenge it. I mean, it's circled on their calendar. Jeb Fish, the Washington coach.
Jeb or Jeb?
Jeb.
Jeb.
Greg. I think it's Greg. Greg.
Jed Fish.
Yeah, Jed.
Oh. Jed or Jed?
Jed. Double D's.
Jed. Jeb.
Jed Fish. The Washington coach.
Have another nugget.
The Washington coach, Jed Fish, just coming in. They're really going to rally around those troops. Circle the wagons.
True.
That's what the Huskies are going to do. They're going to circle the wagons. They're going to dig in. It's going to be a dogfight to the end. But give me Michigan +2.5 and Michigan money line.
Brian, I changed my pick to Washington, please.
No, you're in. It's inked.
You can't just change it to throw everything off.
All right.
We're going to move on.
Our team's doing the Big Ten.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to our Mama's combo parlay and our listener of the week. Tyler will have this news for us.
I get listener of the week, second edition, is our friend Zach Koff. The
UNC guy that got killed by.
Yeah, he's got back in our good graces. He apologized for the performance. He tried to personally donate his teacher salary to get Mac Brown fired. He was on my Numb Nuts list last week. Unfortunately, didn't work. He came back. Old Mac Brown should have probably quit in the last game too against old Duke. We'll get to that in a minute. But Zach Koss, congratulations on listener of the week. His lock of the week also is Michigan. Michigan +2.
Oh, we're on this. Let's go. Michigan.
So
We're going to have to cover.
that makes our four of us pick Michigan. So all the other listeners who listen to this take Washington.
Well, the only thing that we're good about, though, Tyler, is Adam doesn't have them +2. So if they lose by 1,
Okay.
we at least win.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So
All right.
Cost, you better win because our listener of the week last week boned me out of some units that I could have used.
Cost us on the Mama's Parlay. Tyler, your lock of the week.
Yeah, as I mentioned, this is kind of a play on to we were just talking about UNC, but I'm taking Georgia Tech -9 this week. They are playing Duke, and man, Duke is 5-0, but boy, oh boy, they should not have won that game last week against North Carolina. And we know what North Carolina is. Duke, they got outgained by UNC. UNC had that game won. They didn't score the entire second half, so give me Georgia Tech -1. I think they're going to blow them out.
Adam, your lock of the week.
My lock. Lock it up. I am taking USC versus your ball cap, the Gophers. I think everything I saw on the Gophers is not going to work against USC. Jesus, man, let me pick. I think
I got a nugget in my look.
I think if Michigan had any passing attack, that game they would have smoked them. USC can throw the ball. I think they're going to throw all over Minnesota. So I have my research had -8. I'm not sure what I can get.
Yep, that's what it is.
I will take USC -8. The only Minnesota team that's going to be winning is the Minnesota Wave. Shout out Coach Bombay.
Jesus, buddy. Jesus. It might have been the corniest thing ever uttered on this podcast.
There's been some corn go with.
So for me,
What was that line?
-8.
That's a rat line.
Come on, man. Not every line's a rat line. Who says it?
I mean, I just think one of these teams is so bad. They are so bad. Quarterback's out. DJ. I'm going to Clemson at Florida State. Dabo's got the boys rolling. Cade Klubnik lighting it up. Clemson knows that their conference sucks. Their conference sucks. Besides Miami, they're going to play in Miami, probably as of right now, in the final conference championship. If they don't win that game, they still need to have enough of a resume. And by resume, I mean just absolutely bludgeoning teams to maybe get a at-large into the 12-team playoff. That being said, I don't like the spread on the road of 14.5. The half kind of scares me just for some reason. Don't know why, but I think it's almost certain that 47 and a half points is going to hit. So give me the over in the Clemson Florida State game of 47.5.
Do we just do a life savings bet?
Well, I mean,
Oh man.
hey, remember when you took Appalachian Slate and Clemson under, and
Yeah.
Clemson beat it by themselves in the first half?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't put my life savings on the under.
Nobody knows my life savings is like $5 right now.
Somebody mark that down. No unit shame. No unit shame. No savings shame.
No,
saving.
I just said, I just thought my life savings might be.
No savings shaming.
All right, so the Mama's Parlay right now, you got Clemson, Florida State over 47.5, USC -8 on the road at Minnesota, Michigan +2 on the road at Washington, Georgia Tech -9 at home against Duke. $100 bet pays you $1,052.79.
I
A lot
need
of
some
nuggets.
units.
That's
I
a
need
lot-
unit.
A lot of nuggets.
I almost actually want to throw a bet on that just to see, like a legit bet.
Yeah, we do that every week. You don't do.
I don't know. I'm saying like that's
It's
Legit
good.
money.
Good value.
Legit
All right.
money.
Well,
All
since
right, best bets.
we're just talking about App State, first and foremost, thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by the hurricanes up there. That's been like the first time that's flooded. I think it was like 100 years or something. So a lot of people displaced. Sad situation going there. That being said, App State is not a very good football team as it is. And like they're in a really tough spot here. Like they got a lot on their minds. A lot of their family might be displaced. They haven't been able to really focus on football. Now they're gonna go on the road to Marshall. So give me Marshall -3. I hate to do it, but
yeah, there's bigger
Yeah.
things in the world than football sometimes.
and I just don't think they're very good. And then you add the other
No.
stuff on top of it.
Yeah, that's a good bet. For me, I'm looking at Texas Tech, Arizona. Texas Tech's probably not very good, but I think they're rising up. They're trending in a
Bad
positive
defense.
way. Bad defense, but good quarterback. I have written down Morton. He's looking good. The defense, though, I don't know. They're not good enough for them to win outright, so I'm not crazy enough to take Texas Tech money line. But I saw that it opened up to 4, but climbed all the way up to around 6.5, 7. I'd be very curious to see where it's at now. While you're looking that up, this game late night.
Yeah.
10
10 p.m.
p.m. start time. You guys better
that's
stay
the
up.
new Fox game, because that's what UCLA and Oregon were last week. It was 10 p.m. on Fox.
Well, with that, I'll take Texas Tech +6.
Wow, good bet.
All right.
It's not. I'm not a fan of where it's not good enough to lock, but I just think they're trending.
I'm going to go to another late one. It's going to be a long day in this place. We already talked about how this team got away with one last week. Shouldn't have. It's going to be a 7:00 start for college game day up in Cal Berkeley, and kickoff ain't until 9 p.m. here, so 7 p.m. in Cal. It's a long day of having fun in Cal Berkeley. It's a long flight from Miami up there to Berkeley, so I'll take Cal +10 at home against Miami.
All right. Like that too.
All right.
And then I'm throwing this one out there because it's for Friday, and this, depending on when I get this done. Give me Oregon -24.5 at home against Michigan State.
You don't like the Sparty.
Buckle, bro.
I had them last week, and they couldn't cover 23.5 against Ohio State, so at home. So,
well, we'll see what happens here, boys. It's going. I gotta get some winners on the board. So I can't eat any more nuggets. I feel like I'm going to be sick to my stomach here.
UCLA +28.5 at Penn State. Stanford +8 at home against Vatech. Another long flight. Those long flights, the east to west flights, is where it gets them. Not west east. It's easier to get up earlier.
Stanford
harder to stay. Harder to stay up later.
On if you got. Never mind.
All right.
Hey, real quick, one more, real quick. Tennessee 4-0 against the spread, covering by 21 points. They're 13 points against Arkansas. Be curious to get your thoughts. Can the Volunteers cover again?
Yeah, Arkansas sucks.
Arkansas sucks. I agree.
Hey,
5-0 against the spread. That's tough to do.
Another interesting team to look at here. Another one of those teams that we'll see what happens.
Did anybody see the questions that were asked to Sam Titman?
Missed it.
There's something about Tennessee gets out early and gets out often scoring, and they cover blah blah. And he said, "Yeah, thanks for the advice of not letting them get too far ahead of us."
That's good.
Good old Sam Titman.
He could be on the Numb Nuts of the week soon.
Pencil me down. Don't put this in ink, but pencil me down for Arkansas +13.
All right, we'll pencil you down.
All right. That means that just made my bet. Tennessee -13.
Wow. Head to head. All right, boys.
Wow.
It's good seeing you as always. I gotta go lay
Got it.
down. My stomach's hurting from these 25 chicken nuggets.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That was dumb. Take a poop.
Oh, and just
Need
a
some
quick side note.
Pepto Bismol.
For anybody who is actually curious, as far as we jokingly in the text sometimes call it the lab. In the lab right now, the money line, 13% of the bets are on the Missouri Tigers money line. 92% of the money are on the Missouri Tiger money line.
Boner alert. Boner alert. Boner
Where's
alert.
that money at? Where are the Sharks?
Boner alert.
All right, boys. God bless. See ya.
All right, that'll wrap up this week's Mamas on the Hill College Pick'em podcast. See ya.